we talk a lot when we're working with leaders around kind of toward and away motivation of your employees, right? So away motivation being, I'm afraid of something, so I'm going to do something because of the consequences of something else. And toward motivation is I'm going to do something because I really want to strive for it. So it's sort of proactive versus carrot versus stick, if you like. Are you seeing that if you had to sort of balance the equation, on which side is that falling? Is it more about with the executives that you work with and the businesses you work with? Is it fear of being left behind more than what opportunity could we unlock, or is it the other way around?
I think it's kind of, it's almost actually a little bit above that in the sense of, maybe I'll give you a stat and that might help.
Mm.
So, some of the research that I've done in the past has been focused on change, quantifying change, the pace of change, and understanding how the C-suite sees that and how that compares to actual data on change on the ground. Now, 88% of C-suite executives surveyed said that they expect the pace of change to accelerate. Okay. But 52% said they're not fully prepared for what that change will mean for their organization.
Wow. So there it is, right?
Yeah. So, because, as I said, that, and then you can go deeper into that, but the implications are huge, right? Because they have to make decisions about how to allocate their budgets, their time, the people. So if you're not fully prepared, then how are you going to make those decisions? And the idea is that most of the time they spend dealing with the day-to-day operational delivery for the next quarter, financial results, that kind of thing. So how can you, or in this case me, help them kind of take some time out of the day-to-day and think about their organization in the future and where they want to go? And there's different ways to do that, right? You can help them with recognizing the trends that are out there. I always use RISE in my mind as a way to kind of structure that. So like eyes for recognizing trends and just understanding what signals are out there, what's happening. The eyes around imagining the possibilities. Okay. So yes, I've read about this interesting trend, but what does that mean? And so to the example of the humanoid robotics, I was just thinking that who knows whether in the future we might have companies, instead of giving you certain types of benefits like health insurance, what if they gave you a home robot to do all your housework for you so you wouldn't have to spend your time doing that and you could be more productive?
Oh my gosh, I hope the camera caught my face because it was like, oh, please. That sounds amazing.
But I'm not, the point is not to predict or to argue for it. It is just to say, what if?
Yeah.
Or what, and to pose those kind of questions that really stretch
And is
your
that the eye?
thinking.
Because it's,
Imagine.
unpacking that sort of quite boxed view, and actually we're opening up our blind spots to think, well, what could,
Yes, imagine like different possibilities, right? Then yes, is for shape scenarios, because you can imagine those kind of possibilities, but people respond differently to seeing a story of what their organization will actually look like. So you can take, say, 2 dimensions. If we take the example of AI, you can take a dimension around advancement of the technology, and another one around fast to slow, and another one around regulation, lenient to kind of tight, and then almost create stories of. So you can imagine like a little quadrant of that, and think about stories of what would that world look like, and how do you operate? What does your organization look like in that future? And then that's where the E comes in around enabling action, because once you have those different stories, what you can do is say, but hold on a second, if that came to bear, that would mean we're obsolete. Or if that came to bear, that would mean we'll make a lot more money. How can we influence that? Yeah. So that's the idea behind using foresight frameworks to help you think about the future, but see growth today.